welcome our viewers here in the United States and parts of the world. And we are going to continue with our subject that we did last week. We were talking about leadership in the country of Zambia. And I have two guests today. I have got, on the Copper Belt, I have got Mr. Edward Mwabandalama, and in Lusaka province, I have got my brother here, Mr. Ngwira Chanoda. So welcome to the program today, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, and thank you for hosting us.
Remember last time we spoke, we were talking about leadership in our country called Zambia in the South Central Africa. And I was complaining about leadership in the country, the suffering of the people in the country. I made a lot of complaints about how contractors that have been contracted by the Zambian government were not paying money, and also about the leadership that we need to program ourselves to understand what leadership is. And so I would like us to continue from where we left last week. I have Mr. Ngwira here, and I also have Mr. Ndalama here. So we have got one from Lusaka province, and we have got another one from the Copperbelt province. So let's balance this thing together. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Ndalama. We were talking about leadership last week, and I'm going to start with you, Mr. Ndalama. Let's make it clear about how leadership is supposed to be done. And after you, I'm going to ask Mr. Chanoda to also explain to us what's going on in the capital of Zambia, is Lusaka. Because we have heard that, we have seen some adverts that they are going to employ some people, which is good news, but we would like to know exactly how this recruitment is going on. So let me start with Mr. Ndalama.
Thank you so much, Apiri, for hosting me, and indeed to be on the same platform with my good friend Chanoda from Lusaka. Yeah, leadership, the definition of leadership and what I understand leadership is all about. Leadership is just leading people, and leading people is about leading change. Okay, so we need to understand what leadership is all about. It's the people first. That's the most important thing. When you are a leader, you should always put people first. So leadership demands that in everything that we plan, in everything that we should do, we as a person, you as a person in the position of leadership, should think of yourself last. Think of the people first, the bigger picture of the people, and then the organization that one you're serving into, and then yourself. Okay, so basically that's what leadership is all about. It's about leading people, and if you're about leading people, it's about leading change. If we get into a position and then the people can't see any change that we are leading, that's not leadership. So leading people is about leading change. It may sound so simple, but it's not a simple thing. But we need to understand that leadership is not for the first, faint-hearted people. So it sounds like that, but basically, like I said, leadership is about leading people. Leading people, it's about leading change. So basically, in a nutshell, and what I know, that's what leadership entails. It's about the people all the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your ideas, and I would like to ask Mr. Ngwira because we need leadership in all these things we are doing. We need leadership. And Mr. Ngwira, please, can you explain to us what's going on in Lusaka? We hear a lot of advertisements about recruitments, which is a good thing. But you see, like Mr. Ndalama said, we need leadership in everything we are doing. So tell us what's going on in Lusaka, Zambia, in terms of the recruitment of teachers. I'm sorry, the recruitment of health workers. Because you see, a lot of people have finished school. Teachers have finished college. Doctors have finished. Nurses have finished. So tell us the advert that's going on, the recruitment that is going on. Because that sounds to me like good news. Mr. Ngwira.
Thank you so much. Firstly, I want to appreciate Breakthrough Radio and all the producers for hosting us with my very good friend, Edward Ndalama, whom I believe is the future MP for Kabushi after Honorable Bowman Lusambo. Firstly, I want to also say that, you see, we cannot do anything out of what we've budgeted for. And we usually budget based on resources available. And so the budget that we were, given by the New Dawn government is more like based on the resources that are on a promissory note, because you are going to agree with me that more than half of, the resources required to finance, the budget that we were given is actually anchored on the IMF hope, or rather promise that we're going to get, some money from there. So I want to appreciate UPND government for finally, after our cries, after making noise, that they finally advertised to employ health workers, about 11,000 plus. But now the question is, or rather the submission is, you can advertise, but you have capacity to recruit. Those are the things that we must look at. And believe you me, as things stand, we have not yet gotten the money from the IMF. And so that advertisement for me, I feel like it is just, some kind of playing politics, trying to calm, the promise, youths out there to say we are going to recruit you. If it happens, then well and good. We're going to applaud the UPND government for fulfilling what they promised the Zambian people. But my worry comes into saying, where is the money going to come from to put on payroll the 11,000 plus health practitioners? So that is where the question is. Because as things stand now, we don't have money as a country. We don't have money to finance all those recruitments. And there's also a list of teachers, 30,000 teachers, that is waiting. There is a list of, over 150 constituencies that are waiting, to be funded, obviously from the IMF money. And that money is not there. So really, like Ndalama said, leadership has to come with truth. Leadership has to come with honesty. It is not like you're playing football or you're playing, what do we call that? Maybe basketball. No. Leadership must be a responsibility that should be looked at seriously. So we are here and we are waiting to see if this New Dawn government is going to show the leadership that they promised the Zambian people a few months ago. Thank you.
So let me just try to summarize what you were saying, because I was trying to pay attention to what you're saying. You are saying that you are concerned with the fact that the government doesn't seem to have money, and they are trying to advertise that they are going to employ people, but you are not sure where the money is going to come from, because IMF International Monetary Fund here in the United States, they haven't released the money that they promised them. So in other words, you are saying that they made a budget based on the promissory note, like based on the promise from IMF that IMF was going to help us, and then IMF feels like the Zambian government hasn't met the conditions for them to release the money. And then you are wondering where the Zambian government is going to get the money to pay all these teachers that all these health workers that they are promising to employ when they don't have the money. Is that your concern, Mr. Ngwira?
Government is broke. We don't have money. As we speak, we don't have drugs in hospitals. So if government had money, it was going to be easy to, take drugs or medicine in a clinic from Kabushi. It was going to be very easy to take drugs or medicines, to a clinic in Chasef. But unfortunately, as we speak now, all we are seeing are just political rhetoric, sorry to use that word, political statements that are not even satisfying. So as we speak, sir, government is broke. Mr. Piri, maybe you're even richer than the Zambian government because this government is broke. Okay? It's possible that me and Indalama may be richer than the government of the Republic of Zambia because it is basically broke. So I don't know how they are going to fulfill the promise of, such, a gigantic number of civil servants. When in fact,
how many people are they trying to help by employing? How many people they are trying to promise to employ?
They say they're going to employ 11,000 plus health workers, and they're going to employ 30,000 teachers. 11,000 plus health workers and 30,000 teachers. But the question is, how? Because we don't have money. That's a fact. Are they going to tax Comrade Indalama and myself and the Zambian people out there for them to, meet the budgetary allocation? The question is, are they going to tax the Zambian people for them to meet their promise of 25.7 million kwacha, which is about, by and large, we're talking about 2.5 or $2 million somewhere there, if at all I'm right. So let's not be so ambitious. We must, as leaders, be very factual. We must, as leaders, be very honest with the people that put us in these offices. Otherwise, as things stand, the UPND government is stuck. Not stuck like a truck in Moncambo Road. No. It is as stuck as probably a machine drilling some borehole and they've gone 50 meters down and there's no water. So we are stuck as a country. I don't know, maybe Comrade Ndalama may know where they are going to get this money from. Maybe they'll borrow from him or they'll come to you, Mr. Piri, to talk to IMF and maybe get the money. But we are broke, and this exercise of recruitment, believe you me, if it comes to fruition, then I'll applaud President Hakainde Hichilema.
Yeah, I would like them to employ people because I would like people to be employed. I'll be very happy if I see people employed. And what they have promised is a good thing. But it's one thing to promise something and it's another thing to fulfill what you have promised the people. And this brings me back to Mr. Ndalama because it's like I can't get rid of Mr. Ndalama. He's my Bemba folk, so I really have to throw him in the bush where he can be jumping from one tree to another. Mr. Ndalama, talk to us about leadership. talk to us about leadership, because we really need leadership in a crisis like this one. The crisis we have in Zambia, where we have the richer getting more richer and the poor getting more poorer. And the richer are now promising the people that they're going to give them jobs. But where the money was going to come from was IMF. And IMF is not releasing the money for now. Can you direct us on how a leader should move? Can you give us the advice as a country on how we should move forward?
Yeah, like like we said before, leadership is not a simple thing. Leadership is not about pleasing the masses. It's a very, very difficult, business. When you're leading people, it's a very difficult business. Okay, so it's not about doing or passing certain statements so that people can be clapping for you. It's very dangerous that way. Okay. So when we speak about, say, for instance, when you're discussing the employment that should go on in Zambia right now in terms of health workers, for me as well, for me, how I take it, it's not yet there. It's just an intention that has gotten into, an activity. So for it to get to that where it is going to produce an impact, it is very far from now, because we need to understand where are we going to get the money to give civil servants. Civil servants, remember, they don't produce anything for them to make money. So if I was in a position, I would rather focus on much to do with entrepreneurial, innovative businesses. When we have enough money as government, we have enough people, paying tax to the government through empowering, small scale, businesses, then that money can be used to employ our civil servants, the doctors and the teachers, But if we want to employ people, depending on the money that is borrowed, I don't think that's the right way to do things, because that is short-lived. So going forward, for me, if given a chance, I would encourage the government to say, let's look at the other direction, where we are going to get involved in entrepreneurial, innovative business models that is going to empower the masses on the ground. Because as you develop a nation, it's not the educated just, it's the bigger picture of the people that you have in the country. What is it that they are doing to add value to the economy of your country? These small scale businesses, they are going to add up to something big. The summation, we are going to have enough money to pay our civil servants. Okay? As things stand right now, I can't see the impact now, what we are seeing, and as a person, how I understand how we develop and the economy works, we are not yet even at the input level, we are not at the output level, then we get to, to the outcome level, then we can measure the impact. So if we employ these people, what impact is it going to have on the government as a broader picture, on the people that pay tax? How is it going to be questioned? That's a question that we should be asking ourselves. So it sounds good, but what is the long-term effect on the economy of the people, on the economy of this nation? Because it means that the taxes will go up for us to question that if not producing anything. So if we can invest much leadership in terms of, production, coming up with industries, these are things that are going to make us make money to pay other, supporting, services like civil servants and all. But if we can't produce anything, we will never have enough money to pay for our people, and we'll have nothing to buy medicine for. You have nothing to sponsor our education system, and everything at the end of the day, it may collapse. So we need, not to be impulsive, just to make sure that people are happy or anything. But let's look at a bigger picture and say, okay, guys, things are tough, and sometimes as leaders they need to come to the open and say, we said this, but I think things are not going this direction. Please, guys, forgive us. You lose nothing by saying we didn't know. Leadership demands that you need sometimes to accept, not to look invincible like you know it all. It's very dangerous. And every decision that we should be making as a government and those people that are in the government, it's not just theirs. They need to make people on the ground understand that it is part of their business. Let's look at the vision. If you impose, a vision, whatever you're doing, whether it's good on people, trust me, people will disappoint you as long as they don't feel that they're part of it. They need to feel the ownership. So I would ask those in government, to not to come out like they know it all. It's very dangerous, that attitude. They need to reach out to other people and listen. How can we move forward like this? But if we keep on talking nicely, that has got a time limit and an expiry date for that, because you can't keep on motivating people for a long time. People need results, and they don't care what you say. What they are caring is, are they going to have what you promised? So that's the most important thing. As leaders, let's promise what we can. When we fail, let's go to the people and, guys, things are hard. This is how we are thinking. What is your take about it? But if we want to do things, whether it's in a company or everywhere, you think you know it all. No one knows everything. So we all reach out to other people so that we come together as communities, we come together as a country, then working together with trust. That's where you're going to have aggressive cooperation. If we can have aggressive cooperation, this country will develop, because ideas are there in people, and the people, they're innovative people. People with solutions, they are not in the offices. It's not those that in the universities. It's not those that with bigger titles. The people with solutions are those people that feel the impact, those people that feel what they're going through. The businessmen, those are running to my small cantemba and, to my small shops. Those are the real economists, because they know how to economize things, not those that we went to school and, learned, theory and think that's how life is. It's very, very different. So we need to reach out to everyone. And then we listen more to the people on the ground. I think that's what leadership is all about. That's what my take on that one. Thank you so much.
So let me try to see if I understood what you are saying. So, Mr. Ndalama, what you are saying is that the government of the Republic of Zambia was supposed to encourage small businesses, small entrepreneurs, small tuntembas, so that they can keep the economy moving. And when they collect tax from there, then they can have enough money to employ the civil servants. Because the civil servants are just servants. They are not producing anything. They are just offering a service to our people. So we need to find money somewhere to pay them, because they are not producing any money. They are servants. They are civil servants. They are attending to the Zambian people. This is what, Mr. Ndalama, you are saying. So you are saying that we should have put innovation, businesses, encourage small-scale businesses, encourage tuntemba, encourage marketeers, encourage everybody else to do something to produce money, so that the government can take tax from those people producing money, and then they can use that money to pay the civil servants. Basically, this is what, Mr. Ndalama, you are saying. Is that correct?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. And because I believe if you look at the global economy, 90% of the employees, employment was created by small scale businesses or entrepreneurs. So it should be the other way around. The producers should be more than people that are just getting, not the other way around. Because if it means that we are producing nothing and then we keep on employing, we will be living in a debt, invested economy where we are not, exporting more and importing more. So it doesn't work like that. So the principle is that let's go to the people. If the bigger block of the people, they've got ideas, they're willing to work. If we can empower that small scale, my boy, small scale girl with a business, how to run, we innovate them, we train them, and they start producing. Those small one kwachas, if we collect a lot of one kwachas, it comes to a bigger thing. that will be, going to the government to have enough revenue for them to pay other, taxes, and the tax base is broadened because a lot of people have something to do. But if we just keep on taxing the smaller pool, we will suffocate the economy because the buying power won't be there. So you can't run things like that. So what we need is, like I said, it's very, very good, important to employ our people because we need that. But we need to be cautious how we are moving. We should not suffocate the other, the other wing to make sure that we just please people because we mentioned this. So what for me, like I said, I would rather we invest in the entrepreneurial and innovative business models because it's from there, that's where we create value. If you create value, you'll be able to trade. If you trade, we're going to have enough tax bases and the government, because everything that we buy, the government gets something. So if the government have enough, tax base, they are going to employ a lot of people in the way, not at one time, but it's not the end of the world. We can do it gradually, keep on doing it gradually without suffocating the workers that are working and, killing other businesses, but it doesn't work like that. So but the issue, how politics are, it's about pleasing people, but it's different from leadership. Leadership demands that sometimes make hard decisions, not just because of pronouncements, and you wait to say, okay, where do we put in the money so that we can generate enough to support everyone. But I can tell you, like I said, the ideas of businesses, the people that should drive this economy, they are in the streets. They are those women and young girls, boys running to members. If we train them, we cluster them, we say, okay, we're carpenter, if the bricklayers this, and we cluster them, we train them, then we empower those, because those are the people that are going to create employment for their fellow, youths. And if we have a lot of people, doing a lot of things, like I said, we are going to have a lot of, people paying tax, and the government will be home and dry, will have enough money. That's my thought. Thank you so much.
I think I agree with you, Mr. Ndalama, because you see, my complaint, if I happen to miss Mr. Haka in the Hichilema, what I would tell him is that I'm not happy that with the fact that he's not taxing the miners. He believes in a privatization, and he has privatized those mines. And I know that Zambia is losing $1 billion per year from uncollected taxes. They have given what they call tax holidays to these investors who have come to invest in the mines. So Zambia as a country, we are losing 1 billion, not million with an M. I'm talking about the 1 billion with a B, not M. $1 billion every year from uncollected taxes. And this is why I'm agreeing with you, Mr. Ndalama, because you are advocating for the entrepreneurship, where small businesses can rise up and be encouraged and produce, do trade, business, and all those things. And the government should be able to collect money from all those taxes from small businesses so that they can have money to pay the workers they are claiming they want to employ, which is a good thing. I like the fact that they can employ people. But they have to get money to employ these people from taxes. And it's amazing to me, I'm not an economist like Mr. HH. I didn't go to the University of Zambia to learn economics. He knows better than me. But the little small things I know, which I think that he can raise money, yes, tax the small businesses, fine. But don't give tax holidays. In America, they call it tax breaks. But in Zambia, we call it tax holidays. So let me say tax holidays. Don't give tax holidays to the investors you have brought in the country. You have brought investors in the country to invest in the mines. And then you are not taxing them. So where is the money going to come from? God blessed us with minerals on the ground. Zambia, as a country, we are the third largest copper producing country in the whole world. In the whole world. I have to repeat that. The first one is Chile, second by Congo DR, and the third one is Zambia. And yet we are so poor. We are not benefiting from the mines. This is the resources that God gave us. And these presidents, I don't know what to say. These presidents that we are appointing, we are electing, they are not taxing the mines. And the people of Zambia are not benefiting from our resources. It's amazing to me that they can increase the prices and associate the increase of the fuel prices to Ukraine because of the war in Russia. They can increase everything else and easily associate it to the war in Russia, in Ukraine, Vladimir Putin, Zelensky, whatever their names are, I can't pronounce them correctly. But the thing is that they can easily associate the increase of commodities in Zambia to these people who are fighting, even though these people just started fighting. You know, the increase were there before the fight was there. But the truth of the matter is that everything has gone up, including our own resources. Our copper has also gone up. Why is it that the Zambian people, who are the owners of these resources, who are the owners of these mines, can't benefit from the mines? This is my problem. They can't tax these miners, these mines. They can't tax them, but they want to tax the poor. They want to tax the kantemba. A small kantemba like Vapiri. In a pano, I have a small kantemba. You want to tax me to the fullest, but you are refusing to tax the real money. We are losing $1 billion US every year in uncollected tax from the mines.
It's amazing how, you know, not just Zambia but Africa at large and how we do things. It seems we always suffer from that, you know, inferiority complex. We don't know how to negotiate. We always want to seem to be weak and to be dictated on how we should do and how to run, you know, our economies and everything. You know, I don't understand basically why, you know, not just Zambia but Africa as a whole, we are still poor, you know, when we've got a lot of resources. So this comes to me to understand that instead of maybe going to IMF and borrow paper money, it's better we go and engage, you know, and tell the people to bring technology to Africa or in our countries, you know, the technical know-how to bring it in our countries so that we may understand the value of the things that we have in our countries. Because once you understand the value of the things that we have, you understand that it is beyond than the paper money that we get. So it's a scam, you know, it's a scam that has been there, and we really need to do something about it, because, you know, we are taught to think that money, paper money is everything. No, it should not be like that. You know, paper money is a tool, but it's not everything. It's a tool that should be used for trading. So what the issue is, what is it that you're trading in? What is the value of the things that you're trading in? You know, initially we used to have, you know, in history, barter system where if you're selling a cow and you want groundnuts, we exchange like that. That was true value, but, you know, the whole system changed. it doesn't make sense, when we've got copper. This is our copper, God-given diminishing resources, and they will never be there for the rest of of this world. So because of we say they have created employment, I don't think that's enough, because those pits that will remain there, our children will come and ask what happened with the money that you got from all these resources that you did. If you never knew how to use them, maybe we can wait for our grandchildren. They will are gonna have enough brains, to do something about it. Because for me, I honestly don't understand, and I believe we need to invest so much into technology, the education system, and to change the way we look at things. The value of things is not in counting the paper money. The value of things is counting the natural resources that we have. These diminishing natural resources, they are our resources that God gave us, and each and every country has got something that they need, to trade with. It's not just about getting money and then we give the true value. We give the mukula tree, we give copper, diamonds in exchange for paper money or because we are driving. We will never develop until we change that mindset to say, yes, money is important, but we need your technology. Can you come to Zambia and set up a plant, where we are going to make our own cables instead of just exporting unfinished copper? We need to, to come up with models that are going to add value to the things that we have. It does not make sense. We are talking about EVs, electrical vehicles, and all these things, they need copper, and those things are in Africa, they are in Zambia, So why should we be, still suffering? I don't get it. We've got 40% of the fresh water in SADC region. It's in Zambia here. But when you go out, people are still drawing water, are putting on their heads, and that's wastes a lot of time. I honestly don't understand why, we can't develop. But I think we need to change the mindset. If we understand how things work, with the change of the mindset, we will change how we are going to run our nations. It's not about what we've been taught in books. We need that foresight. We need the thinking part, not the educated part. Because sometimes you may think you're educated, but you've actually been brainwashed and indoctrinated. So education demands that we see value in things that we have and add value to those things, and then we can excel and export. We're going to have enough revenue. So I honestly, for me, up to now, I don't understand why Zambia is still a poor country with abundant resources, small population. We've got everything for us, to be a developed nation. So what we need, I think, it's, we reduce on too much of politics. We come together and work together as a country, and put the country forward, than putting the political parties and the political friends in front of everything. But we say it's about our country, because everyone, we found this country and we are gonna all pass, we'll leave it. But the question is, when I leave, what is it that I'm going to add value to my country? That's a question each and every person should be asking, with whatever we do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Ndalama, and we lost Mr. Ngwira. I don't know, some technical issues, but the thing is that Zambia as a country, we have got a lot of natural resources, especially copper, and things are going up, fuel is going up, and because of fuel is going up, everything connected to fuel is also going up. Essential commodities, transport, food, everything else is going up. But we have all forgotten as Zambians that even copper also, copper, the one we have in the mines, we are the third copper producing country in the world. The mines we have, that price of copper is also going up, but the government is not saying nothing about it. They are only telling us everything else which is going up. But they are not telling us that also copper, which we have in Zambia, is also going up. So if copper is going up, why is it that people are still unemployed? Why is it that people, the government is empty, they have got no money?
Yeah,
I need the people of Zambia to know that the government has no money because they are not taxing the mines. We are losing $1 billion every year from uncollected taxes. So if I was in a meeting with President Bali, I would tell him that you have to tax the mines. You have to tax the mines so that the people of Zambia can benefit from our natural resources. We can't afford to lose all this money and then continue taxing the small people, the poor people. Pachicheva timati, osasenga mkaka ng'ombe yonda kale. Don't milk a cow that is already thin, lean. When there are other fat cows like the mines, you can tax those people and let them get the money and use it to develop the country. So, Mr. Ndalama, we are closing the show. We are going to continue the show next time, and I would like you to give your closing remarks. I lost Mr. Ngwira.
Okay. Once again, thank you so much for inviting me to be on this important forum where we discuss, our nation and leadership of our nation and the way forward, and how to improve our economy. Yeah. So basically, what I should say is we need to change the direction that we are going on in as a country. We can never, one thing we should not entirely put the blame on the current government. This has been going there for a long time. Our minds are not in charge. The minds are not in our hands, and that was the greatest mistake and grave mistake that we made. So these guys that come and invest, they would want to make a profit, and they don't care about where they're doing their mining and everything. As long as they've got the profit, yeah, they'll get and go it. So we need to be a bit tough and try to re-engage, try to restructure our agreements with them, and so that we can have our stake, because this is our country. These are our natural resources. We'll never have these resources again. So they should not just come here and get whatever they want and off they go because they employed a certain number of people. Because it should go beyond employment. If these people are out of employment, what next? That's a question we should be asking. So, going forward, if we are opening other mines, I would rather Zambians take up those mines. I don't think, I have a lot of friends that from my university that they are running the mines. They know the technical know-how, but what we need is we need to support our people and to trust our people. Let's trust each other, that we can even run these things. We need to start from somewhere. But as long as there are, these sanctions and all these things, it becomes a bit tricky. But going forward, we need to change the way we think as a country, starting with at an individual level. Each and every person should ask ourselves, what is that I'm doing to this country, so that to contribute it before I leave this country when my time comes to say bye, or my time is up on this. That's a question that each and every person should be asking. So otherwise, I still have hope that we will do something when we cooperate, we work together, remove much of politics and appoint people, find people that are thinking in a way that this country can develop, regardless of their political affiliation. We need to work together. At the end of the day, before politics, we are Zambians. And I think, Zambia is a Christian nation. We need to forgive each other, love each other, and then move forward. So if we keep on living in the past, nothing's going to change, and we keep on going in cycles. Thank you so much, Mr. Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Ndalama. I will need you next week so that we can continue this discussion. We lost Mr. Ngwira. He had a lot of input to put into this. But in closing, I would say that it is true that the war in Ukraine and Russia has caused a lot of fuel prices across the globe. It is true. But you know what? It is not the only truth. The truth also is that every other commodity has also increased in prices. The food has increased. The copper has also increased. The copper has also increased, and the Zambians should benefit from that. Thank you so much. We're going to continue this discussion next week. And God bless Zambia. God bless America, and God bless the whole world. I'm your host, Vapiri, the voice for the people. See you next week. Bye.